light buzzing on your face. Spit with cover growing bitter for crumbs in on a tight dam. Still broke up around the hill. There's a leather door box away in the game. Gas pump ticking in the distance. Truck lights crawling past the glasses. Jukebox with tingling. I'm on a lonely roadside band. You keep talking like you're ready for the stories that I wrote. But a real man doesn't chase his son. He lets it come to his road. I don't run, I just choose my road. Men like me move in silence, living by private code. I remember different midnights, different diners, same booth feel. Bosses calling from the city, telling me which card to deal. I would slide a motel key card, close a briefcase by my knee. Watch the taillights on the highway and decide who walked out free. There was one kid looked like you do, eyes too sharp to play it soft. Thought the world would bow before him if he climbed up high enough. He ignored the quiet warnings, only heard the rolling gold. Now his name is just a whisper when this highway turns cold. I don't run, I just choose my road. Men like me move in silence, living by private code. Between the stations, never stay more than a night. Paying cash, keep doors half open, sit with exits in my sight. I still know the ones in power, still could call and take that seat. But I'd rather leave some spaces where my soul can keep his feet. So you finish up that coffee, fold that number in your hand. Ask yourself whose rules you're serving. You say you'll be a man. You can board that next dark highway, do it loud and overload. Or you can learn to leave it early, learn to really choose your road. I don't run, I just choose my road. Men like me move in silence, living by a private code. I don't run, I just choose my road. If you're wise, you'll move in silence, find your own unbroken code. Fluorescent hum in the ceiling vent, then paint over old cracked walls. Motel out crooked over one steel chair, same picture in 1,000 halls. Coffee cooling by the phone on the nightstand, lipstick ghost on a plastic cup, your shadow left on the cheap white curtain when you finally said you'd had enough. Coat folded on the back of the door, tie hanging from the bathroom rail, ledger lines running in my head like trucks rolling past on the highway tail. Motel key lying by the pen and pad, little brass tag with a fading blue. I'm writing this notepad paper like it's ever gonna make its way to you. You wanted more than what I signed in rooms, the blinds pulled halfway down. I keep my word to every deal, but I kept you in a halfway town. So I leave the keys on the motel table like a promise I don't touch, all the doors I never open, 'cause the life already asked too much. I'm the man behind the number, quiet handshake in the corner booth. I can carry any secret, but I never learned to carry truth. If you're looking for a softer legend, I'm not the one you're dreaming of. I trade sleep for control, and I trade warm hands for gloves. So I leave the keys on the motel table and let the life collect our love. You used to trace the crease on my cup, say this world's gonna turn you stone. I said every empire needs a steady mind, every steady mind sits alone. Briefcase latched at the foot of the bed, papers folded like a second skin. You'd ask who kept calling after midnight, I just lower my voice and let it ring. I pulled up once at your small front gate, engine low, headlights kill. Watch you lock your door and walk down slow. Saw the doubt you tried to keep still. You slid in, eyes on the dashboard clock, said one day they'll pay you with what you lose. I laughed it off and checked my phone, but that line still cuts deeper than my shoes. You wanted more than polished answers, more than that's just how it goes. I built a castle out of silence, you were knocking where the hallway froze. So I leave the keys on the motel table like a door I won't walk through, all the lines I never crossed, 'cause they mean stepping close to you. I'm the man who moves the wires, lots of deals without a spark. I can raise a tower out of nothing, but I can't rest beside a heart. If you're chasing quiet mornings, I'm not the story sent from above. I trade flowers for a ledger, trade your sunrise for my gloves. So I leave the keys on the motel table and let the life rewrite our love. Now the hallway's quiet as a closing file. Ice machine coughing down the bend. Taillight smear on the diner glass. Some voice rolling to a distant friend. I'm here counting every time I chose the meeting over your bare feet on the floor. I won the room, I won the contract, but I kept losing you at every door. I won't say I turn it all around. That's a line men use when they're done. I would just lay out the map before you, every price mark clear before we run. You deserve to know the man I am, not the dress shirt version that you used to see. This letter staying in the drawer tonight, 'cause it's mostly written back at me. There's a cost to staying calm when the whole table starts to shake. You can't serve two living masters when one of them is every deal you make. So I hold my line in the mirror, wear the silence like a ring. You walked out with all the soft things, I stayed here with everything. So I leave the keys on the motel table, like an oath I can't revoke. All the lives I never shared with you got signed off in a quiet stroke. I'm the one who keeps it steady when the room leans toward the flame. I can hold a line for ages, but I couldn't hold your name. If you find a gentler captain, let him steer you clear above. I'll be somewhere by a highway, counting risk instead of love. And I'll leave the keys on the motel table. That's the price of what I'm made of. On a plastic tag, number buzzing on the door. Thin carpet humming, fridge, suitcase parked on the floor. Phone screen on the nightstand, your last message glowing blue. Curtains barely hold the highway, all that distance ain't but you. Neon from the diner sign draws a line across my bed. Napkins folded on a table with the words I never said. Boots lined by the window, dust from nowhere on the sole. I move town to town in circles, but I never break the roll. I was built for empty highways, for the spaces in between. Quiet deals in backroom corners, no one writes into the scene. Every job a slow transaction, in a shadow by the ice. Cash and secrets in the glove box, no one needs it said twice. You were holding down a small house, steady chair and steady light. Coffee on a 6 each morning, curtains closed by 10 at night. I kept calling it protection when I left you there alone. Truth edges where the trouble first begins. Make my money in the silence, pay it back in quiet sins. And I leave before the damage ever reaches where you sleep. That's the only kind of promise a man like me can keep. I'm a gentleman outlaw on the highway, never staying long. Keys on the nightstand, engine in the dark, still humming strong. I can buy another sunrise, I can buy another room, but I can't buy you a future that this life won't turn to gloom. I'm a gentleman outlaw on the highway, moving by my code. Every heart that tries to hold me feels the weight of what I owe. There's a gas pump at the corner, throwing numbers in the night. Lonely driver at the window under flat fluorescent light. I can see us in that glass there, different rings on different hands, where my work is counting tables, not these quiet crooked plans. But the engine keeps its rhythm through this thin motel wall, like a distant kind of drummer knocking out my final call. So I write this unsent message where your name lights up my phone. Type I love you, so I'm leaving. Let it sit there, then I'm gone. If you wake up in the morning and you don't see where I went, just remember how I held you like the night was heaven sent. I'm the silence in the driveway when the danger's drawing near. I'm the shadow that steps backwards so you never taste the fear. There's an extra empty chair there, so you never have to ask what I carried past the county, what I buried in my task. Keys are waiting on the nightstand, but they don't belong to you. They belong to every secret that would fall between us two. I'm a gentleman outlaw on the highway, never staying long. Keys on the nightstand, engine in the dark, still humming strong. I can buy another sunrise, I can buy another room, but I won't write you into pages where my world becomes your doom. I'm a gentleman outlaw on the highway, that's the man I choose to be. So I'll walk out of this motel like a ghost that kept you free, free. Green old hand on the ledger, throwing a circle on the grain. Ledger open like a Bible, full of numbers in my name. Fountain pen on my fingers, little ink stain on my cuff. Saved or breathing in the corner, like it's hurt more than enough. Downstairs there's a final glass, being washed and turned to dry. Ceiling ceiling shakes with one last laughter, then it fades into a sigh. Out the window, all those tail lights draw a river through the dark. Up here I keep the books in order while the streets still leave their mark. You were always on the front line, doorway, alleys, loading bays. I was back here with the ledgers, choosing routes and choosing days. I would circle little numbers, shift the time, erase a name. You were walking to the meeting, never asking who to blame. We were brothers in a strange way, edges of the blade. You took heat out in the open, I took heat in what I made. Then that night I moved one figure, moved a car and changed the door. Thought I'd cut the risk in pieces, laid it heavier on you more. Someone has to weigh the danger, someone has to count the cost. Every favor, every shipment, every gamble that we toss. And the boss just wants it tidy, wants the numbers running true. But the part that never balances is what the dark collects from you. I'm the cold hand on the ledger, keeping empires looking clean, hiding blood between the columns where the ink falls in between. I'm the quiet calculation that decides who walks the night. I can make the paper perfect, but I can't make any of it right. I'm the cold hand on the ledger, I don't shout, I sign and nod. Every figure that I straighten is another bet with God. Now this page has got your name scratched, there's a corner turned to white, little smudge where my thumb rested when they called me late that night. They said something about a staircase, wrong car rolling in too slow. By the time the sums were over, you were lying where that O would go. LLA, the light is blinking down the hallway, sick and pale, like it's counting every secret, riding up with every sail. I adjust a single zero, shift the stash from bay to bay. Hear your boots on cold stone marble every time I look away. I was never built for gun smoke, never chased them through the stair. I was built for quiet offices where the power feels like air. I'm the one who moves the borders on the chessboard by the wall. I'm the reason some stay standing when the strong ones start to fall. If the stories ever reach you, where the noise is turned to hush, boots on the gravel by the guardrail line. You ran a wall up the river key. Remember, and it never be. Down an outlaw, the slow bike free. Boots on the gravel, so in melody, wore breast steel with a peeler to slow the all on and in by slow black thread, and reading back what the river keeps. Gentle now, lost to fix the energy. Quiet power strip, personal code. Warning a younger man about the price of being the cleaner in this underworld. Oh, not the hours, see the call, not the sleep I lose. You see the legend in the quiet, not the faces I can't unchoose. Think you want what the river keeps, all those secrets sunk down deep. Wanna be the last calm name, promises get too steep. I'm the shadow at the railing, I'm the phone that never speaks, but you don't feel the weight that rides your chest when the city finally sleeps. You want the fear in every whisper, want that power in their eyes, but what the river keeps, it never gives back, it only learns your lies. There was a night with a silver sedan, trunk half shut on a crooked case. Diner sign flicker in the distance, red and white on an empty face. Your cousin called from a corner booth, voice too smooth for the words he said. Need you down by the old bridge fast, if you're late, we're both as good as dead. I showed up with the same small bag, same dark coat that I'm wearing now. Locked the doors, gave a nod to him. No one else around to see how we didn't shout, didn't raise our hands, just move like moves we learned in years. But down the road looked clean again, but the miles home were all gears and fears. You heard the talk around the tables, turned it into some midnight crime. But every mile I drove that morning pushed another part of me down. You think you want what the river keeps, all those secrets sunk down deep. Who wanna be the last still hand when everything's gone off the steep? I'm the shadow at the railing, I'm the name that never leaks, but you don't hear the way the quiet talks when the city finally sleeps. You want the nod in private offices, want your mark behind doors, but what the river keeps, it never gives back, it only keeps the score, yeah. Look at these gloves on the concrete rail, creases worn where my fingers clench, yeah. Smell of metal and a trace of oil, road dust baked in the denim stench. I still stand straight, I still walk slow, still show up when the numbers call. But there are nights I park outside my house and never step inside at all. You say you're ready for the darker work, for the code that doesn't bend or break. Ready to carry quiet debts, ready to live with what you have to take. I won't beg you to walk away, that's a language I don't speak. I'll just tell you once, then let you choose how heavy you wanna sleep. This life don't shout its signs in ink, it settles out by faded light. You don't grow old by being loud, you get there by being almost right. Cross this line, You think you want what the river keeps, all those stories with no names. You wanna be the hand that wipes the board when other men lose their games. I'm the echo on the girders, I'm the blueprint where it leaks. I can walk away from questions, but I can't walk out of my own sleep. So if you cross this whole cold bridge and take your place in what it weaves, remember what the river keeps, 'cause it remembers and it never leaves. Key on the metal ring, plastic tag says 209. Thin curtains let the red sun bleed a crooked line of light. There's a coffee cup gone cold beside this phone that never rang. Suitcase zipped against the wall like it's waiting for the bang. You're asleep in some safe neighborhood where my name don't cross their minds. You don't hear these distant trucks pulling past the dotted lines. I keep writing you this message on a pad I'll never fold. Every line says I still want you, every margin says don't go. I leave the key on the table when I walk out to the road. I can walk away from anything, but I never leave my code. You met me at a corner booth when I was fresh out of a mess. Leather jacket, quiet eyes, trouble stitched into my vest. I told you I run the gray lines where the night forgets the day, and I'd keep your hands off my world if you let me move my way. There were envelopes and briefcases you never got to see inside. You just knew I came back tired with that long road in my eyes. Now the last job brushed too close to where you lay your head at night, and I'd rather be the ghost you miss than the wolf outside your light. I leave the key on the table when I walk out to the road. I can walk away from anything, but I never leave my code. Vending machine down the hallway buzzes like a steady light. Ice machine coughs out its heart while a truck brake breathes aside. I fold this page along the crease, slide it back into my coat. Lock the door without a sound, let the engine clear its throat. If you ever find this jacket years from now in some back room, you know I didn't disappear, I just left to kill the bloom. I don't run from what I've done, I just keep you from the load. So I trade our little motel dream for the weight of what I owe. I leave the key on the table when I walk out to the road. I can walk away from anything, but I never leave my code. If you wonder why I vanished when the night was turning gold, it's because I'd rather lose you than watch you pay for what I've sold. No rap, no trap, hi-hats, no EDM, no dubstep, no metal guitars, no screaming or growling, no auto-tune lead vocals, no female vocals, no choirs, no crowd noise, no claps or whistles, no explicit or vulgar language, no political or religious content, no brand names, no references to repeat movies it'll be. Keep it dark, cinematic, classy modern blues, blues rock with a slow, intimate groove, male storyteller vocal, gentleman businessman in the gray zone, lots of space, motel and highway night mood, power and code over sentimentality. chrome napkin holder, chip white coffee cup, neon from the station sign keep flickering the windows up. Bruised vinyl grips my gear, bruised vinyl grips my jacket, back pressed to the wall, phone face down on the table, waiting on that one last call. Motel key in my pocket with the plastic tag half cracked, trucks whisper down the highway, everyone just slipping back. I've stepped through busted doorways with the light still hanging loose, pull thin plastic over fingerprints, turn the noise down on the truth, closed curtains on a bedroom where the shouting finally stopped, pulled carpet over stories that somebody couldn't drop. They don't print my little number, it just travels mouth to mouth. By the time they dial, it's shaking, all the fire is already out. I don't ask about the motive, I don't ask who held the steel, I just measure out the distance between mercy and a deal. Every surface keeps a memory, every stain becomes a name. I erase it from the floorboards, but it stays inside my frame. They call me when it's too late, when the damage has been done. I'm the quiet kind of thunder that arrives after the gun. I leave nothing for the daylight, just a room that looks the same. Still a gentleman with gloves on, walking out without my name. They call me when it's too late, when the story's on the floor. I keep my coat and close the door. Waitress tops my coffee, says she's seen my look before, but I'm just another stranger in this halfway open door. Suit pressed, shoes clean, eyes older than my age, hands that fold like quiet tools, mind that works like gauge. I watch that swinging entrance, every shadow, every pair, thinking how a man can vanish and still leave himself in there. There's a line I drew in pen once by a notebook near the sink, said I'd never clean a mess born out of boredom or a drink. If the motive's only spite, if it's something small and cheap, I let the chaos live there, let the guilty lose their sleep. But if it's fear and if it's pressure, if it's someone overrun, I'll arrive with steady footsteps, leave them nothing for the sun. They call me when it's too late, when the damage has been done. I'm the shadow in the hallway that reflects on everyone. I leave nothing for the daylight, just a bed without a stain. Still a gentleman with gloves on, carrying the unseen blame. They call me when it's too late. I'll walk back through this gate, counting every quiet favor on the ledger of my fate. A ledger of my fate. I've been here too long, watching the lights. The city never sleeps, never gives up the fight. I've made my peace with what's in the game, but something's changed and I'm not the same. The phone rings quiet, but it's all I hear. Every deal's a promise, but the cost is clear. I've always known the city got its pride. No one asks the cost, no one thinks twice. I played my part, kept the balance right. Now I'm seeing shadows in the city lights. The walls are closing in, the pressure grows, but the city's got its own ways to impose. I've built it all, watch your eyes in my hand. Now I feel the cracks, it's slipping through the sand. The city I trusted is turning cold, and I'm realizing the price I've been told. It's the cost of the city, what's paid in the dark. Every move you make leaves a permanent mark. You're loyal to the game, but the game doesn't care. The city's got its hold, but I'm starting to stay. Ooh. The skyline's a ghost in the late night haze. I've counted the debts, but the sum never pays. I built my empire, but I feel the weight. The city demands, but I can't escape. I've done my part, kept the lies in line, but now the truth's showing, it's no longer mine. If I leave, the city won't blink, but I've seen the cracks. Now I start to think, what's the cost of loyalty when the price is too high? Can you trust the city when it makes you wonder why? It's the cost of the city, what's paid in the dark. Every move you make leaves a permanent mark. You're loyal to the game, but the game doesn't care. The city's got its hope, but I'm starting to stare. on cracked concrete, station fading in my back. Street lights buzz and flicker like a wire about to snap. Radio on my shoulder mutters names I already know. Case files in my pocket that I'm never gonna show. Badge still on my belt loop, sidearm heavy at my side. This city's in the window glass, watching every step I slide. I've taken cash in stairwells where the bulbs were always dim. Signed off on some lost evidence that never quite came in. Popped the trunk on an old sedan, closed it down without a word. Let a man slip out a side door that the hallway never heard. But I've dragged more than a few men from the edge of this same rail. Pulled a kid back from a corner when his heartbeat started pale. You think you know corruption like it's just a crooked grin, but there's a ledger in my locker where I balance what I send. Every favor has a counter, every shortcut has a cost. I'm not holy, I'm just careful with the pieces I've already lost. I wear the law with shadows on the badge. Half the angel, half the trouble that you have. This city leans against me when the sirens fall asleep. I'm the quiet kind of danger that it keeps. Shadows on the badge, walking lines you never see. If you're breathing in this district, you owe part of that to me. Old bridge over water, rust flaking off the rail. River moving slow and dark like a secret kept in mail. I lean into the cold steel, thumb the metal at my hip. Watch a lone car take the corner, see its headlights briefly dip. There's a vending machine humming in a hallway by the stairs, where I meet the ones in neckties who pretend they're saying prayers. I won't plant what I didn't find, won't frame some kid for sport. I don't fire off a favor just to polish someone's report. If I take a back room and below, if I silence not a grave, I keep one hand on the railing, one hand steady for the brave. So when this city tries to judge me for the stains along my track, I can stand up in the mirror and have something staring back. I wear the law with shadows on the badge. Not your hero, not the devil that you tag. This city leans against me when the clean ones go to sleep. I'm the danger in its veins it chose to keep. Shadows on the badge, every line I walk is thin, but I still decide what darkness I let in. ledger open wide, every line another mark. Your old chair waiting with his back to the glass, but it's just me and the slow little ticks as hours pass. Got a folder with your name thin spine in my hand. Light paper heavy like the weight of this whole land. I thumb through the pages like a dealer with a deck. One wrong sum and all that weight snaps a brother's neck. You always love the street lights more than quiet rooms, chasing quick money in the heat that always blooms. Took a side deal in a back door you didn't know. Brought the kind of eyes we never let near a home. I could run every number straight back to your mistake, or bend the trail sideways till it's someone else they take. So I sit with this pen and a slow controlled breath, deciding which small line turns your trouble into death. Everything we build here rests on thin, clear glass. Cracks start whispering long before they ever shatter fast. Black ink, heavy hand, I draw the border you don't see. I keep the balance where the blood and money meet. Quietly, I'm not the one kicking doors, I'm the calm behind the plans. If your name slips off this page, you're no longer in my hands. Black ink, heavy hands, I weigh the cost you try to outrun. I'm the shadow in this office when the night outlasts the sun. You called me brother back when all this felt like play. Thought I just counted, never heard what walls can say. But every quiet column is a promise I won't break. Every rounded number is a life I choose to make. I covered you once when the trail got far too bright. Shifted 3 digits and I swallowed down the light. Now I see the same hunger walking in your shoes. If I save you every time, we both are bound to lose. One day I'll close this ledger, spin the safe's cold wheel, leave the guards and cameras like a ghost behind the deal. Walk down empty hallways with my tie in my hand, leave you just this warning, not a gun, but still a brand. Black ink, heavy hands, I draw the border you don't see. If you cross it one more time, you won't be in here with me. I'm not the king of this world, I'm the judge of where it stands. Numbers hold the chair up high, I just keep it off your hands. Black ink, water's cold beneath my boots, but the night feels even colder. The city's behind me now, but I'm still carrying its weight on my shoulder. I lived in the shadows too long, but the light's always close behind. The past keeps calling my name, but I'm trying to leave it all behind. I've done things in the dark that I can never undo, but I've always been good at moving, never stopping to see the truth. Every step forward feels like a step in the wrong direction, but I can't go back, not now, not with all the years of reflection. There's no place to hide from the things I've done. The shadows are my only friends, but they're never done. If something happened, it's too late to make it right. The city's got its claws, but I'm walking into the night. I've lived on silence, and now I'm drowning in the sound, trying to escape, but the shadows are always around. I can't outrun what I've been through, and the past is still right here in my rear view. I hear the waves crash softly, but I can't find the peace. The city's far behind me, but its grip won't cease. I've paid my dues in ways I can't explain, but the debt's still unpaid, and the way won't change. The night is long, but the road is colder still. I've crossed so many lines, but I don't know if I ever will. If something happened, it's too late to make it right. The city's got its claws, but I'm walking into the night. I've lived on silence, and now I'm drowning in the sound, trying to escape, but the shadows are always around. I can't outrun what I've been through, and the past is still right here in my rear view. it's rusting where the beams cross over. River moving like a sheet of oil. Sodium lamps buzzing by the guardrail posts. Water chewing at the pilings in a slow, dark boil. Two cars parked back from the yellow line, engines ticking as they start to cool. You're leaning on the hood with your hands still shaking, trying hard to look like you're not that fool. Black gloves drying on my dashboard vent, thermos rolling at my boots in the grit. Trunk door closing with a soft, low thud. I wipe one mark where your panic hit. I don't ask you what you tried tonight, chasing legends down a crooked track. I just strike a match on the painted rail, watch the flame and don't look back. You say you wanna be the name they speak when the floorboards start to creak. You think power's in the louder moves and in the way the weak eyes leak. But it's what the river keeps that marks the men who move like me. What the dark water swallows it never brings back up to see. I'm the one who walks in quiet when your bright ideas bleed. I don't talk about the nights, I just do what they all need. You wanna stand where I'm standing, kid, you better learn to leave. Not just traces in the rear view, but the part of you that dreams. Cause it's what the river keeps that caused the coding men like me. They told you I'm the quiet one upstairs, office blinds close against the noon. Said I signed the papers that don't exist, move numbers like a changing moon. You saw the watch, saw the sober cups, saw the way they stepped aside. Thought if you just pushed one job too far, you'd buy yourself that kind of stride. Instead you froze where the hallway bends, cold sweat running down your spine. Phone in your hand with my number lit, midnight humming on the other line. You whispered rough when I picked up slow. I think I went too far this time. I finished my coffee, killed the lamp, said text the bridge and the exit sign. Now you're staring at the black below, like it knows the shape of you. Thinking maybe I'm your savior, but I'm just here to see this through. Cause it's what the river keeps that marks the men who move like me. What the dark water hushes, it never sends back any plea. I'm the one who walks in quiet when your noise gets in too deep. I don't boast about the balance, but I never miss a sweep. You wanna sit in my shadow, kid, you better learn to see. Every favor has a number, every mess has a fee. And it's what the river keeps that carves a code in men like me. There's a cardboard box on the backseat floor with a burner phone and a folded map. New shirt folded in a plastic sleeve, fresh keys taped on a dash strap. I slide it open with a steady hand, tell you drive where this line turns west. Don't talk too much, don't add your spin, don't turn this into some brave test. You asked me, did you ever shake like this? First time you fixed what someone did. I shrug once, feel the metal rail, say fear cuts clean if you keep it hid. I don't lose sleep for what I bones get bent. I'm not here to bury your soul tonight, just to show you what regret meant. So listen close, cause I don't repeat and I don't write this kind of thing down. You keep your word, keep your head, keep your hands off the weak, or I take back what I found. If you can't live with quiet weight, you turn around after this drive. If you can, you tighten your coat and you might just stay alive. It's what the river keeps that marks the men who move like me. All the things we never mentioned, all the nights we let go free. I'm the one who walks in silence when the loud boys start to freeze. You can chase your little stories, or you can learn the real disease. You wanna wear this kind of calm, kid, you trade comfort for this creed. Leave your hunger for applause and leave your glory with the street. Cause it's what the river keeps, that carves the code in men like me. This train's the only thing that's moving through the night. City lights fade behind me, disappearing out of sight. I packed up all my troubles in a bag and walked away. There's no turning back now, just the tracks in me today. I hear the whistle calling, but it's only for the few. It's the longest ride I've ever known, but I'm not turning back to you. There's a woman on my mind, I left her standing in the door. She told me I was running, but I never gave her more. I said I'd be back someday, when the roads all led to light. But I've seen too many corners where the dark outlasts the night. Its mark on me, but now I'm walking free. But something in my chest is heavy, and I know it's waiting for me. This track stretches out ahead, no road behind. I wonder if I'll ever really leave it all behind. It's the longest ride I've ever known, but I'm not turning back. I've left it all behind me, but the past won't lose its track. You can chase a fading memory, but it'll always follow close, and the city never sleeps. wheels keep turning slow. I can't stop the motion now, just let the river go. I remember all the nights we spent, the promises I made, but they fade like shadows under bridges, lost in the parade. I don't know where I'm going, but I know I won't be here. There's a train ahead that promises to take me out of here. Will the past catch up with me like a ghost in every light? Or will the road ahead be empty? Will I find what's left inside? It's the longest ride I've ever known, but I'm not turning back. I've left it all behind me, but the past won't lose its track. You can chase a fading memory, but it'll always follow close, and the city never sleeps. But the man who leaves is gone, I suppose. Lamplight on the desk, blinds half closed on the globe below. Pages on the table, numbers marching in a tidy row. There's a letter by my elbow with your name written neat and small. I've been staring at that envelope like it's waiting for the final call. Safe door humming in the corner, still behind the painted wood. On the glass I see our outlines, men who blurred the line of good. I balance out the strangers, I erase the ones who crossed the line. But tonight I'm counting something else, the way I move the weight from me to you, not mine. We were just two kids with cheap ties and empty pockets once, splitting cash in borrowed rooms, laughing at the older fronts. You had fists and iron nerves, I had ledgers, maps, and quiet plans. You shook the hands in back rooms, I hid the knives in other hands. First time we bent the figures, it felt like harmless little art. Just a favor for a friend of ours, just a shortcut through the dark. But every just this once we wrote has its own column in my head. Now the totals fill the margins with the things we never said. Elevator bearings distant, someone's coming, someone goes. All these names in narrow columns, none of them will ever know how a man can build a kingdom with a fountain pen and mask, till the interest on his choices is a bill he's scared to ask. I'm the quiet hand that holds your world together, every favor just a line in the ledger. You wear the crown, you stand in all the light. I move the weight that keeps you up at night. I keep the book so the wolves don't catch your scent, but every number hides a crack in our cement. I'm the quiet hand that holds your world together, and every favor is a line in the ledger. There's a folder in the drawer with your face in black and gray, copies of the deals I tilted when the heat came our way. I moved risk like broken glass, pushed the sharper shards to you, told myself it's just insurance, something any smart man do. Phone light blinking on the corner, little red eye never sleeps. Every ring could be the moment when the cost comes due too steep. I can hear you in my memory saying numbers never lie, my friend. But I've watched men close their stories with a single mark type at the end. If you ever read these lines, no, I never raised my voice. I just nudged the tiny levers, gave the shadows one more choice. I pulled you from a dozen fires, then stepped aside one blaze too far, signed my name beneath your burdens while I watched you from the car. This isn't asking your forgiveness, I don't trade in words like that. It's a balance sheet confession folded under ledgers on my lap. I'm the quiet hand that held your world together, every favor carved the line in the ledger. You wore the crown, you walked into the fire. I stayed upstairs pulling on the wires. I kept the books while the floor began to shake, shifted storms so they curled around your wake. I'm the quiet hand that held your world together, and now my soul is just lines in the ledger.
Backroom light is buzzing, one tube flickers over green felt. Ledger open on the table, numbers stacked like cards I dealt. You're drying glasses by the doorway, say you've heard a thing or two, but the men who sign a real moves never raise their voice to you. There's a chessboard on the counter, king piece lying on its side, ink still wet on tonight's deal. pen cap waiting by my tie. Upstairs he wears the cufflinks, downstairs I redraw the score. When the floor begins to tremble, I'm the one who locks the door. I don't wear the crown, I move the pieces. I'm the quiet hand behind the door. When the table shakes and the room stops breathing, I'm the one who keeps my hands on the board. First time that he called me brother, hallway cameras watched us pass. Elevator doors like iron mirrored back our future glass. He was fire in a sharp suit, every spotlight loved his face. I was filing every promise, learning where to hide the trace. Sign my name on darker ledgers, close the safe with steady keys. Moved a man out of the picture like a knight across the sheet. You don't shout about decisions when they pull on someone's life. You just check the final balance and you learn to sleep at night. I don't wear the crown, I move the pieces. I'm the quiet hand behind the door. When the table shakes and the room stops breathing, I'm the one who keeps my hands on the board. I see the faces in the margins of these lines, all the ones who paid the interest on the deals we call just fine. If he ever breaks a covenant, forgets what we agreed, I can tilt this whole game sideways with one signature from me. I don't wear the crown, I move the pieces. I'm the quiet hand behind the door. Every name I write, I carry with me. That's the weight of keeping hands on the board. So wipe down all the counters, kill the neon, bolt the gate. If they ask who ran the evening, say I left a little late. He can shine out in the main room, let the crowd praise their young lord. I'll be walking down the hallway still with both hands on the board.
More telky on the table, plastic tag with a fading name, single lamp buzzing in the corner, shadows cutting up the blinds, map unfolded on the mattress, coffee cooling by the sink, highway hum behind the window like it's telling me to think. Boots lined up by the door frame, duffel leaning on the wall, phone face down and out of service, no more late night duty calls. I've been leaving little messages that the daylight never sees. Now I'm packing up my silence, taking what belongs to me. I'm a highway gentleman, leaving quiet, leaving clean. My coat's the only thing I keep between the gravel and the gasoline. Neon sign above the diner flickers red, then almost white. Chrome and cracked up vinyl seats glowing in the sleepless light. You come in with your cap turned low, same jacket that I gave. You still walk like every corner's one step closer to a grave. You say, tell me one more secret, tell me how you never fall. I just stir my cup and listen to the humming in the wall. I could hand you all my warnings like a folded envelope, but a man don't learn this business off another man's old notes. I'm a highway gentleman, leaving quiet, leaving clean. My coat's the only thing I keep between the gravel and the gasoline. Gas pump clicks, tank is ready. Numbers freeze and fade to black. Tail lights paint the empty lot, stretching long and never back. I remember all the back rooms where you stood just to my right. Eyes too bright and hands too eager every time we cut a deal at night. I signed off on your first favor, thought I'd keep you from the worst. Now I'm driving past these exits with your name still in my verse. If you chase these quiet paydays, you'll be sleeping like I do, having rooms with bolted windows, having dads that follow you. I'm a highway gentleman, leaving quiet, leaving clean. My coat's the only thing I keep between the gravel and the glass wall full of windows, this whole city in a frame. Desk lamp on a folder with your thin and rising name. Leather chair across from me, you sit but barely sing. Tie a little crooked, eyes too wide to ever blink. Elevator ride was quiet, numbers ticking up and go. Now you're breathing in the office where the real lines get told. I've signed off on the channels that you only hear in hints. Turn back doors into doorways, watch the boardrooms wash their prints. Kept some uniforms on payroll, kept some judges in a fog. Fed the ones who kept things steady, starved the ones who fed the dogs. You've been running little errand, thought the night forgot your face. Every hallway keeps a memory, every favor leaves a trace. You think the game is muscle, you think the crown is noise, but power's in the quiet men who rarely raise their voice. This city doesn't love you, it just follows what it's owed. I'm the hand behind the curtain where your debts get slowly closed. Up here we move by top floor code. Calm and cold, every handshake, every secret gets controlled. You can hustle in the alleys, you can shout about your name, but you answer to the numbers all the same. Top floor code, polished shoes on silent stone. I keep the lights on in a kingdom made alone. There's a chessboard by the window, pieces lined in even dust. Kings and pawns in level rows, every one of them I've judged. Some move like you are moving, fast and hungry down the file. Some step once in the wrong square, disappeared inside a mile. I don't threaten, I don't bargain, I just weigh who holds their weight. I can raise you with a signature or cross you off as late. Here's the part you better learn before you ever touch my chair. Never promise what you can't protect, never bleed where people stare. Pay your people first and fully, keep your circle trimmed and small. Let your anger die in private, let your answer stand tall. If you're ready for the pressure when your friends become a cost, then you're ready for this view and for the sleep that you have lost. Up here we live by top floor code. Calm and cold, every quiet little victory takes its toll. You can chase a flash of glory, you can carve it in your skin. Motel key on the nightstand, plastic tag with a fading 9, folded note on the dresser that I never meant you to find. Suitcase half zipped by the doorway, boots already facing east, map folded in the glove box, every exit like a beast. Neon hum from the diner, coffee cooling by the glass. I watched you wipe down silver, try to fix my second chance. But the phone kept softly buzzing with a number I can't ignore. And a man like me don't stay put when old debts knock at the door. I'm the quiet outlaw of these yellow lines. Every mile remembers what I don't explain. Dashboard glow on my knuckles, steering wheel knows every scar. Radio low, just a murmur underneath this idling car. Billboard blinking, last station, in the mirror growing small, as the dark between these farm lights swallows names I used to call. I could turn back at the crossing, take that left and find your street, lay this jacket on your chair, leave this life under your feet. But the men who shake my shadow never knock just once and go. They would stand outside your window just to say they told me so. I'm the quiet outlaw of these yellow lines. Every mile remembers what I don't explain. You said you're more than what they whisper in the corners of that room. But I've seen what happens, darling, when the truth gets there too soon. So I'll keep my name in motion, let the rumors ride the wind. Better I stay just a story than a danger at your skin. Machine at a rest stop, flicker painting chrome and blue. I lean back on the hood and almost send this text to you. Thumb is hovering on your contact like a trigger half awake. Then I clear the screen in silence, some goodbyes are mine to take. Taillights blur in the distance, just a trucker and his freight. We're two ghosts on different missions, sharing all this empty space. If they ever write my legend on a sign beside this road, they should carve beneath the letters, he left clean the ones he loved. I'm the quiet outlaw of these yellow lines. Every mile remembers what I don't explain. So if you hear an engine humming past your window in the dark, know I checked each hidden corner just to keep you off the mark. I'll be just another shadow fading past your town's last sign. Let the stories chase my boot prints, I'll stay with these yellow lines. glasses streaked and tied, double limits in the style. Ticket stub in my jacket, double shoved under my feet. Coffee cooling in a paper cup, quiet heartbeat with a beat. Platform bowls were almost empty when this engine came alive. Now it's just the rail and silent roll it out of that old life. Left a key on your table next to a folded note. Your short name in the corner under every line I wrote. Cabinets in that kitchen, they've seen more than they should. Cash inside the flower tin, traces of the neighborhood. I could feel the hallway, listen when I closed your painted door. Knew the man who read my footsteps might come looking there for more. I fixed too many problems in the dark for borrowed kings. Wiped too many handles, cleaned up too many phones not ring. Now the map inside my pocket only points one single way. Out beyond their reach tonight, past the games we used to play. I got the last seat on the night train out of this life. Rolling steel between their questions and your life. I'm not running like a coward, I'm choosing how to slide off their board before they trace your quiet side. I got the last seat on the night train, steady inside, still a gentleman in motion, cutting loose to guard your life. Vending machine by the doorway, humming low and out of tune. Old conductor punched my ticket like he seen this move too soon. Rows of worn out leather, names carved deep into the backs. Stories of the ones before me, all their exits, all their tracks. Streetlights fade to warehouses, then a scattered porch front glow. Every mile puts one more shadow between your window and my ghost. The kitchen floor, laughing at my holster hanging on the bedroom door. You said one day this will find us, like a forecast in your eyes. I just kissed your worried forehead, said it never crosses your side. Now the wheels keep counting choices underneath this metal frame. Each small town we pass through feels like one less place to aim. I got the last seat on the night train out of this life. Leaving clean, not begging from the night. If my name shows up in whispers, let it fade into the line. They can curse an empty chair, but they won't cross your little shrine. I got the last seat night train, sharp and quiet, still a gentleman in motion, paying cars to end this riot. black pen, single lamp on low. City lights beneath my window, like a quiet distant glow. Folder open by my wrist, numbers marching in a line. One page wrong and I can feel it crawling up my spine. Chessboard in the corner, missing pawns in both the nights. Coat still hanging from your visit when we split the last of nights. Elevator hums and then goes dead. No footsteps at my door. It's just me and this old leather chair on the 13th floor. On this 13th floor, I don't raise my voice at all. I just lean back in the silence while I'm watching who will fall. Every name beneath my pen becomes a shadow on the door. If you're coming, come correct into my 13th floor silence, so don't come here anymore. Kid, cracked boots, folded grin. I put a tailor jacket on you, taught you how to walk back in, showed you how to hold a promise, how to leave a room secure, how to smile with empty hands and still be stronger than the door. Now the cash count's coming crooked and your stare won't meet my eyes. You forget I made you careful. There's a folder with your first job pressed between these bottom drawers, and another still unopened with your future in its core. On this 13th floor, I don't raise my voice at all. I just lean back in the silence while I'm watching who will fall. Every name beneath my pen becomes a shadow on the door. If you're coming, come correct into my 13th floor silence, or don't come here anymore. Shoulder set just right, you can leave here still beside me when we step into the night. On this 13th floor, I don't raise my voice at all. I just lean back in the silence while I'm watching who will fall. Every name beneath my pen becomes a shadow on the door. If you cross me honest in my 13th floor silence, or don't cross me anymore. On this 13th floor, where the city looks so small, you remember who you're talking to when my silence fills the hall.
glass wall throwing back my face. City burning in 1,000 squares. Desk lamp halo on an open file. Your name tucked in the papers there. Leather chair still holds your shape from when you sat here one last time. You said, I don't care what you really do, I just want you not to climb. Key got turned, I walked you out. Watched the hallway swallow up your dread. Door swung shut with a quiet click. Floorboards humming with stress. Cufflinks shining on my wrist like tiny mirrors I can't hide. Poured a drink and let the phones ring twice before I chose which side. You see the skyline, not the wires. See the suit, not the stain. You hear my name in whispered rooms, not the numbers with your name. So the door stays locked and the blinds stay half drawn low. I run this city from a quiet room. You don't need to know. I keep my hand on the ledger, keep my back to all that glass. You keep your heart in the daylight, far from everything I pass. You think you want the power, think you want this top floor view, but the door stays locked for a reason. It's the only way I love you. We had nights on the outer road, cheap motel humming by the sign, suitcase leaning on a crooked stand, your laugh tangled up with mine. Back then I only had a single key, single deal, one crooked call. You smiled and said one day you'll own those lights, like it was nothing at all. Later on in a borrowed car, highway lines rolling like a reel. I shook a hand in a shadow light, felt this life turn iron real. You held my jacket at the door, didn't ask why my eyes looked wrong. I told you, trust me one more time, knowing I'd be gone too long. You saw the hunger, not the cost, saw a road and called it fate. You never saw the open files with your name beside the way. So the door stays locked and the blinds stay half drawn low. I sign off deals in the quiet hum where you don't need to go. I keep my hand on the ledger, keep my word like steel and glass. You keep your world in the daylight, far from what I let slip past. You think you want the stories, think you want this top floor view, but the door stays locked between it all. That's the line that guards you. Tonight the elevator's done its run, hallway carpet holds no step, only hum of the building's lungs. And this letter I won't send yet, crystal glass on the corner edge, untouched, catching neon smear. Your photograph in the bottom drawer is the only honest thing in here. I can call you up from your quiet street, watch you walk through that bright hall, take your hand, turn the deadbolt key, let you see how I don't fall. But every man I ever moved against kept a face too close to yours. I don't bring that to your bed, I keep that poison in these floors. This life writes small in ink and breath, trades in whispers more than sound. You don't stay king by being loved, you stay king by standing ground. My coat is sharp, my hands are stained, my calm is all I really own. I pay for every floor I climb by standing up here on my own. So the door stays locked and the light stays soft and warm. I hold this city like a loaded truth, I keep outside your storm. I keep my hand on the ledger, keep my name where shadows do. You keep your nights
Porch light hums and flickers on a leaning wooden post. Highway in the distance, like a never-ending ghost. Floorboards in this hallway carry dust that's not my name. Suitcase by the doorway, boots lined up beside the frame. An emerald mug on the table, map spread open like a wound. Radio low in the kitchen, some old station out of tune. I've slept in back road motels with the carpet gone to threads. Counted ceiling stains like markers for the deals above my head. Rolled shotgun with the engines when the trunk was riding full. Met men behind the truck stop where the neon turned to wool. I've left town with no goodbye, more nights than I can count. Paid my way with quiet favors to lines all bloody amount. So I rented this small shelter where the highway bends away. Just a little piece of nowhere where I listen to my sway. Every night I write a sentence to the boy I used to be. Fold it once and never mail it, let it sit and measure me. I keep a house off the highway, just outside their map, where the engines sound like thunder, but they never cross my track. I'm not hiding like a coward, I'm choosing where I stand. Still an outlaw with a ledger and a plan. House off the highway, where I sharpen up my coat, so I walk back in prepared when I go on that railroad. Revolver hangs in shadow on a nail beside the door. Jacket on the chair back, half-packed bag still on the floor. There's a photograph face down of a kid with crooked grin. Same eyes I see in mirrors when I wash the diesel off my skin. I pace between the windows, watch the headlights slide and fade. Think of every quiet exit where I could have stayed and stayed. Listen, kid, when you get older, drifting loses half its shine. You'll trade freedom for a pillow if you live past 29. Never jump at every offer, never ride with every call. Keep your name off loose agreements, let the loud ones take the fall. Build a room that no one knows of, where the noise can't shake your head. So when the road comes back to haunt you, you can face it cold instead. I keep a house off the highway, just outside their maps, where the engines sound like weather, and I'm weighing all the gaps. I'm not praying for forgiveness, I'm just tightening how I move. darkness, I stay dangerous by design.